I always had the feeling that Selena was going to do something. Selena was a person that was very sure of herself, you know. I was too. I knew she was going to make it, even as a young girl, little girl, you know. So apart from her talent, she had that charisma.
Welcome to Corpus Christi, Texas, a quiet, at times festive city where the people are inviting and warm no matter the circumstance. This is a city that raised one of the most influential artists in music, and an artist that we still talk about till this day, Selena.
So we're headed to Q Productions. It is a production company and studio where Mr. Quintanilla and the rest of the Quintanilla family work out of. They also have the Selena Museum there.
We have, it's like a family business that's going on back in Texas. We have Q Productions, and it's an agency where we sign bands and we also book them.
She had this amazing talent. I really truly believe that not a lot of people possess that as entertainers. There's those ones that are just like, whoa, you know, and she was one of those. She was beautiful on the outside, she was beautiful on the inside. You could tell she was a genuinely kind person, and she generally loved her fans. So I think that made her very appealing.
Selena's power was in her dancing and her stage presence, you know. She's still very much with us. She would have wanted that because she worked very hard. She worked very hard, so.
I think that most Latinos, when they look at her, they see themselves, because she was not a güera and she was not blonde hair. She was, you know, dark skin, a little bit dark skin, tan, and she had the dark hair. So I think that most people could identify with her.
She would do things like, I would buy my food at the airport. We're waiting for flights, and I'd buy my little ham and cheese croissant, and she'd sit next to me. And so I'd grab my croissant, and before I'd even take a bite, she'd go, that looks so good. And I'd go, yeah, it actually is gonna be pretty good. And she's like, I just want a bite. And on purpose, she would almost eat the whole thing. Just to get on my nerves, just to like, oh.
Selena was an international star. She wasn't just in Texas. I've always said that in Selena's case, it wasn't just the talent, it was the person. And to this day, people remember her.
One place that still remembers Selena immensely is Hi-Ho Restaurant, one of Selena's favorite spots. The staff always treated Selena as if she was a part of their own family, and still do. Mr. Quintanilla and the rest of the family still stop by the restaurant till this day.
What was so special about her for you guys?
That she didn't act like she was special.
Yeah.
She acted just like we are, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you could play around with her, and you know, she'd come in and hug us, hi, and you know, we'd laugh with her and joke with her, and you know.
She gave us that one, and that's the only actual picture that we have of her when she was still alive. You know, we weren't the type to go, oh, Selena, you're at your autograph, you know?
Yeah.
We didn't expect her to go.
Well, because she also comes so regularly, right?
Yeah.
That morning that she died, we were here at work, and Abraham was here having breakfast. Somebody called him on the phone, and he came to this phone here, and I heard him say, she's not back yet, and he hung up, and then next thing I knew, they were leaving, you know. And then later on, my husband called me from his job, and he had heard that Selena had been shot. So that's when we put two and two together and said, no wonder he took off so fast. I made an announcement to all the customers that were here that Selena had died.
Yeah.
And it got very quiet, and a lot of people would cry, you know, would have tears in their eyes, and she was very well known here in Corpus and very well liked.
What would you want to tell the people of Corpus?
Well, I'd like to tell them thanks for all the support they've given us. There was a lot of people that stuck by our side here in Corpus, and we give you all a whole bunch of thanks from the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate you made us what we are today, so thanks.
Selena just had a really important impact on me just because like she's a Latina just like I am, and she just opened so many doors for women, and being able to show like one of my friends the culture that I grew up in and showing her like this is me and this is who she represents to us as Latinas is really important to me.
No, pues como les decía, ¿verdad? Que siempre la vamos a tener en nuestros corazones. Es como si no estuviera muerta porque ella fue muy humilde con sus fans y siempre la vamos a tener en nuestros corazones.
She had such an amazing voice, and the way that she learned Spanish because she needed to, because then they wouldn't accept her in some countries. The way she sang it was so perfectly when she like learned it that really like touched me.
Well, we've been with Capital for about 3 years, and that was our initiative from the very beginning, was to cross over to the English market. And it's taken this long to finally, get things rolling. And we're just really excited, and we just hope that, we can do the best that we can and people accept our music.
Well, she was very excited about the English crossover. She was really looking forward to that. She only got to record only 4 songs and she passed away.
The song that everybody likes, Dreaming of You, was actually the song that she picked. Selena heard something in the song that I didn't hear, and Dad also agreed with me. He's like, it's kind of like, we weren't feeling it, you know what I'm saying? But now you listen to the song and you hear that little piano part come in, and it's just like, it's a powerful song.
Late at night when all the world is sleeping, I stay up and think of you.
If you knew her, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. When she loved hard. And of course, her love for Chris was very strong. And even though everything happened with them, my dad freaking out about them, because she was very young, I'm kind of glad that it did happen that way because, so much happened, and then she ended up passing away, so at least she got to experience love. That makes me feel good. We're very close with Chris. I still consider him my brother-in-law.
Selena and Chris's love was admired because of how precious their relationship came off and how they both fought to be together. 2 hours away in San Antonio, Chris shares memories of Selena with fans at a signing for his book, To Selena with Love.
After 20 years since she's passed, there is great memories of being on stage and being on the road and all that stuff. But for the most part, for me, it was the more personal, like the drives, certain drives that we would make from San Antonio to Corpus, or from Houston to Corpus on our way home, or just getting home and, having dinner and, just the plain, what people would consider to be the normal part of our lives.
How's the music going?
It's great. I love it. I have no complaints whatsoever.
Does it ever get too much? Like this, since she's out there so much?
It took a life of its own, we can't control that.
I just think about her. Everything reminds me of her. She's everywhere. It brings a smile to my face, actually, as my wife and I will be riding in the car and she'll come out on the radio and we'll just both look at each other and smile.
It's hard. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say that every day coming here, I look at stuff in here, there at the museum, and, it's my office is right there. And sometimes it hurts. It hurts a lot. And sometimes I don't want to be here.
I could lose my heart tonight if you don't turn and walk away.
You can just generally feel her vibe, the good person that she was, the smile she always had for anybody, and her just way of being and her aura. I think that people are attracted to that kind of stuff, and she definitely had that it factor, which hasn't been figured out yet, but she definitely had it, and all of that put together, I think that's the reason that she's still relevant.
I remember her every day. She was my little sister, so I'm freaking out the fact that it has been 20 years, because realistically it doesn't feel like it's been 20 years. But I think it's because, her fans have kept her memory alive.
A memory can't make you feel unsad, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing. If you're gonna be sad that day and feeling down, there's nothing that I've done in the past with her that can make that, okay, it'll make it go away. That's the most important part for me, is keeping her memory alive.
Somebody asked me the other day, if she was to be right in front of you, what would you tell her? I was like, I wouldn't even tell her anything. I would totally hug her. And then, well, what did you tell her after that? I don't know. I would hug her and hug her and hug her and not let her go. I miss her.
20 years after her passing, Selena is still present in the spirit of the city and in the hearts of her family. Everywhere you turn, there's a photo on a wall, a song on the radio, or a story being told. These are all reminders as to how strong Selena's legacy still is.
It's a mess in here, but come on, where should we start? Okay, so yesterday, I will tell you this is probably the coolest thing. I got this yesterday from a fan. She was 5 years old. She made this for a project at school, and she put the stones on herself. The Coca-Cola 5-year bottle, the commemorative bottle, I think she was like the second person to ever have one. This is a picture of us. I have my little, my little coop up, yeah. Y'all really want to see a really cool picture right behind you? These are our school pictures. This is Selena, and this is me. And as you can see, we're wearing both the same shirt. Hand me down. Yeah, hand me down. And we're 4 years apart. I had it framed. I thought that was really cool. Walt Disney cartoonists, they came and they wanted to do a cartoon about Selena. We kept the artwork and I had it framed. Fans give us so many different cool things. This one, it's actually all the words to Dreaming of You. Yeah, he made it. And all the words, if you get in close, they're all words, which is really cool. And then, I have a lot of artwork. I don't know if y'all are aware that she came out in the Latin legends for the stamp, the U.S. postal stamp. And she's right there with Tito Puente and Carmen Miranda and Celia Cruz. The famous Coca-Cola stand-up poster. So many people, are so nice enough to draw her and to create her. So it's really cool. These are all her egg collection. Pretty cool, right? The first of the craziness is the back one. There's one that's a kaleidoscope. Yeah, that one right there. This one's like a little music box. This plays music. Chris gave her this one. My mother made her this one. Got like a little antique vibe to it. This one right here is the one that I gave her about 4 days before she passed away. It's like, why an egg? Like, really? So it was pretty cool. Did she say why she liked them? No, she just gravitated towards them. I collect little perfume bottles, so I don't know. Yeah, everybody has their different thing.
The first album coming into Capitol Records, they wanted me removed as a producer. They said that I did a good job on the independent labels, but they felt that being that I was the first one on a major label, they didn't feel that I could handle the job. They wanted a Grammy Award-winning producer. Dad made a deal with them and said, let A.B. do this first album. If he fails as a producer, then we will let the second album roll with your Grammy Award-winning producer. A lot of pressure was on me on the first album, and it did very well. And they said, okay, we'll give him a shot at the second album. And then from there, it just started taking off and taking off and taking off. And so the recording process was cool because I was given total freedom to do whatever I felt I had to do. So with every album Selena had come out in the Latin market, it reached more and more markets. It happened because there was extensive work done on the music to reach certain regions. Once we took over Texas, I wanted the United States. So I started kind of disguising our music with sounds and textures. It's like sending subliminal messages to where, okay, somebody that listens to this style of music, like for example, if you listen to banda music, it was like hiding banda behind, you know what I'm saying, behind a cumbia or subliminally hiding it in there. Once I started hiding things, studying groups in Mexico, then I got her into Mexico. I wasn't happy with just Mexico. I wanted Central America. I started studying Central America. Cumbia is on downbeats and salsa is on upbeats. So what a lot of people don't know, what I did is on Amor Prohibido, I switched the cowbell to a salsa cowbell. That salsa cowbell is tuned worldwide. It's tuned to the same key. By doing that, I busted the market full open for her, so where everybody just accepted the music. I wanted to know why, she couldn't hit that #1 spot on Billboard, until the one day that it did happen, that Amor Prohibido went to #1. So we're kind of at a handicap with the style of music we play, and to go to #1, that was a big thing.
What was one of Selena's favorite songs that you guys worked on?
She didn't have any favorites. As a matter of fact, she got to a point to where one day she tells me, "Can you manage tonight not to play Como La Flor?" Come again? She says, "I'm sick of singing it. I don't want to sing it." I said, "You not singing Como La Flor tonight would be like Michael Jackson not doing Billie Jean. That's become a signature song." She said, "But I've sang it so many times already. I don't know if I have it in my heart to sing it one more time." I said, "Well, you better have it in your heart, because that song stuck with you, man." What am I gonna do? It's just like,
follow it up?
Yeah, to follow it up. And then they said, "You have to go to New York. You got to go to Nashville. You've got to fly in Los Angeles." And I'm like, to meet with all these people. I'm like, how am I going to do this? And they're pressing me for this, and they're pressing for me. And how am I going to, outdo this song, And for anybody watching this interview, the solution is you don't try to outdo a hit. You write another hit, And so Amor Prohibido came about.
Was she a part of the writing sessions?
No, she was not. She was a part of going to the mall sessions. You know what I'm saying? She loved going to the malls, and she felt very comfortable. She knew that I had her back, and she knew that I would, put the shows together. Just right outside of here, we rehearsed for the disco medley. That's a hard thing to do, is that many songs and just have 2 hours of practice with, a 10, 11-piece band, We actually played it at the Astro. That was like, we only had a one shot on that. And I was amazed that everybody played in the pocket and got the song done. Dad taught us all. We all had our position and our special spots in the band. And that was cool. I mean, that was cool of Dad to put that, I felt comfortable with that arrangement. Dad's whole viewpoint is if Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson could put an album out and take 5 #1s off of it, or 6 #1s off of one album, you can do it too. I'm no telling, but all that whole mariachi thing was like a nightmare in the bus. Yeah, because Selena, we were trying to sleep, and she's practicing the songs in the front of the bus, and she's just singing, and she won't let us sleep, and she's singing Toro, 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 and we're like, oh my God, she's gonna sing it again. She's sang it 20 times already. It's just like, she had to learn them to get ready for studio, and we understood. But after a while, Chris got out and said, "Shut up," and slammed the door. They were kidding around, you know what I'm saying? But it was like, oh my God, those songs just engraved in my mind, just because she sang them over and over and over and over again, trying to perfect them.